Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. And today I will be dealing with the leveling of the frets. First leveling, then crowning, and hopefully by the end of the episode I will have the nut fitted and the guitar stringed up. Hopefully. So let's roll the intro and we can begin. First thing before starting doing things on the frets is to make sure that the fretboard is dead straight. So to do that, I use a straight edge with some notches for the frets. This is a homemade straight edge. This is made of a flat bar, aluminum flat bar, which I sanded down straight the sides and filed down notches for different scale lengths. This is the 25.5, and just put it on top of the fretboard. In order for the fretboard to be straight, there should be no gaps along the length of the straight edge. And another trick to do this better is to put some light behind and have a look at the front. And then adjust accordingly. Slightly more. And that should do the trick. Now, it's time to protect the fretboard by marking the fretboard like so, leaving only the fret visible. And a little pro tip, your best friend for this job is one of this, a tape dispenser. It makes the job much faster. The fretboard is protected and covered. Little pro tip, since I'm working with a maple fretboard, I'd be extra cautious that the fretboard is well covered, since it's a quite white fretboard. So every little defect will be visible much more than, for example, an ebony fretboard. Now, next up is to mark, using a marker, to mark a line on all the frets. So I know when I'm leveling, I know exactly how much I need to go down, or if there's any low spot. Okay, now at this point, I'll get my leveling beam. Now, this is what I like to use for leveling the frets. Basically, it's a small spirit level without the spirit level. Convert it into, put a strip of sandpaper, so I convert it like a leveling beam. I like to use sandpaper instead of, for example, a leveling file, because sandpaper is much finer than the file, is smoother, and it leaves far less marks on the threads. And that will be an easy job. It will be easier to remove those scratches rather than using a file and leaving heavy scratches. So this, I believe, is a 150 grit, some paper. It's not new, it's already used, so even better. And as you remember well, these threads they were pressed fit, not hammered, so I might not be doing a lot of leveling, hopefully. So basically I just start from the back, from the bottom, going forward evenly across the radius across the section of the fretboard. It's a bad idea to just stick a couple of times at one place and then moving along. So better if one stroke and moving along the fretboard. Inspect every now and then, and I'm almost there. I just need some work at the end. Obviously, the end of the fretboard is the most part that will need more filing, since there is a big amount of material than the forward part of the fretboard. Okay, leveling is done. It didn't take much. As I said, these threads were press fitted, and now next step is to do the crowning of the thread, because at this point the threads are quite flat. So to do so, I remark again the threads with the marker. And I don't have a fancy crowning file or some sort of special tool for crowning the threads. I just use an old simple file which has an edge which is grounded off. This file I found it in a flea market. It was quite a fun. So basically, using this method, using the file method, not the special files, what you need to do is to start on the side of the thread and slowly turn the file so the thread, you're like turning around the thread and leaving just a small line of the marker in the middle of the thread. It might be visible on camera, until you leave that small line in the middle of the thread. At the end, I like to go a bit around the edges. Next one, again starting from the side, turning around. And that's the other one. Now, I will do the rest of camera. Don't need to watch me do all of them, so I'll just repeating. And I'll see you next for the next process. Now that the threads are crowned, it's time to clean them and polish them. So to start, I like to put a piece of 400 grit sandpaper like so between my fingers and go along the length of the fretboard. This will knock any sharp edges that the file has left. And 400 grit, it won't remove any material, just will remove the scratches that the file has left. And after that, I like to go on top of the thread, each one, so if there are any other marks visible, scratches, it will polish them down. Move it from side to side, so I'm not sticking at one place, risking of flatten them again. Now, next step, I like to go through with some steel wool. So if I have any more marks left, I can see them like this. Alright, and final polish is to buff them out with a polishing compound. So I like to use this green polishing compound. I use the same one for stropping my hand plane blades or chisels, and using a Dremel tool with a felt pad, I just go on the fret like so. So now it's time to remove the tape and clean everything up with some alcohol. shiny. Now, next step is to fit the nut. Now here I'm using a Task nut from Graphtec. They're good, they're cheap, and they're easy to install. Rather than cutting from a blank, this is much easier. It's a bit too big and too high. Too much high. So after some sanding, the nut is where I want it to be. Basically how I check the depth is by using this pencil, which is flat on one side. And what I do, I rest it on the frets, pressing them, and mark a line on the nut, and the line should be right under the slots of the nut. Now what I need to do is to trim down the width of the nut. And just make sure I remove material from both sides the same amount. Okay, that's it. Okay, for now I'm just leaving it like that. I'm not going to glue it to the fretboard, just in case I need to remove it. So let's put the neck on the body and we string the guitar. I put strings on the guitar and it feels pretty good. It has a nice low action, no buzzing. So I just need to fiddle with little things. I need to do the strap buttons, arrange a bit the slots of the bridge, because these are pre-slotted, but I need to deepen down the slot of the bridge. And oh yeah, I did notice a nice scratch at the back of the neck around this area, which means I probably sand down the back and refinish it again. That's a bummer. And next episode and final episode, it will be a demo of this guitar with a local guitar player. I do apologize for the bells you're listening, because today we have the feast of the village. Yeah, so that's the noise you're hearing. Okay guys, that's it for today. I hope you liked today's episode and enjoyed it and learned something from it. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you'll be aware of any future releases. And until the next time, take care and goodbye.